Welcome back to the deep dive.
So good to be here again.
I want to start today by asking you to do something for me, just for a second.
Okay.
Unless you're driving, obviously, please keep your eyes open. But I want you to picture the absolute worst-case scenario involving an ex-partner.
Oh, man. This is a dangerous game to play.
It is, but I want you to really go there. Like, maybe you run into him at a grocery store while you're wearing sweatpants and buying 3 tubs of ice cream.
Yeah, or you accidentally, a photo of theirs from 4 years ago at, 2 in the morning.
Exactly.
Those are bad. Those make you want to just crawl into a hole and disappear.
Right, but honestly, those are child's play compared to what we're dealing with today.
Completely.
Because today we're diving into a scenario that is so viscerally uncomfortable, so psychologically twisted, that it makes the grocery store run-in look like a spa day.
It really does.
Imagine not just being invited to your ex's wedding, the ex who, by the way, you are still madly in love with, but being forced, legally and financially forced, to actually plan the wedding.
It's the definition of a nightmare.
It is.
It's the entire premise of Promise Me by Sara Cate. And I have to admit, when I first looked at the source material, I thought, this is going to be a train wreck.
Oh, it is a train wreck. Yeah. But it's the kind you just cannot look away from. It's fascinating.
Well, that's the thing. On the surface, it's this incredibly messy, high-drama contemporary romance.
Yeah.
But once you start peeling back the layers, which is exactly the mission of this deep dive, you realize this isn't just about a wedding at all.
Not even close.
It's a really profound case study on grief. It's about the psychology of control versus trust. And it's about how we use protection as a disguise for cowardice.
That is a very heavy takeaway for a book that features a sexy Scottish artist in a kilt.
Look, the kilt is important.
Oh, we will absolutely get to the kilt.
We have to. But yes, today we are breaking down Promise Me, which is the second book in the Sinful Manor series.
We're going to look at the second chance trope.
We're going to dissect the power dynamics because there is a heavy BDSM element here that we really need to unpack carefully.
Right, and we're going to figure out why we instinctively root for the grumpy recluse over the handsome Hollywood movie star.
It's the ultimate underdog story in a way.
It is. But before we get to the romance, we really have to set the stage. Because the setting here isn't just a backdrop. It's almost a character in its own right.
It really is.
We aren't in a generic city apartment or some sunny beach house.
No, we are in the Scottish Highlands.
Barclay Manor.
Exactly. Think rain, thick fog, ancient stone, gloom. It's the perfect exterior manifestation of our protagonist's internal state.
And that protagonist is Declan Barclay.
Declan Barclay. 32 years old, wealthy, talented. He's a brilliant painter and sculptor, and absolutely, profoundly miserable.
I relate to him on a spiritual level, I have to be honest.
I was waiting for you to say that.
The man just wants to be left alone.
Misanthropy is strong with this one.
It really is. He literally wears noise-canceling headphones in his own house just to avoid hearing people be happy downstairs.
Which is iconic.
That is a level of pettiness that I, frankly, admire. He's up in his third-floor studio, painting naked women, just completely ignoring the world.
It's pettiness, sure, but it's also a massive defense mechanism.
Right.
And this is our first key insight for you listening today. Declan isn't just a grump because the plot requires a grumpy character.
Right.
He's a man frozen in a state of arrested development, and it's caused by trauma.
Let's unpack that trauma a bit. Because it's easy to write him off as just a jerk, but there's a very specific reason he's like this.
Exactly. We learned pretty early on that Declan lost his parents in a car crash when he was young.
Yeah.
That kind of sudden, violent loss completely rewires a child's brain. He internalized a very specific, very damaging lesson.
That love equals loss.
Yes. If you love something, it will eventually be ripped away from you. So the only logical way to survive is to never love anything in the first place.
So he creates a highly controlled environment.
He stays in his studio.
He controls his art. He controls his noise levels. He controls exactly who he sees.
It's a classic dismissive avoidant attachment style. He pushes people away before they can get close enough to hurt him.
But the problem is, he lives in this massive manor with his siblings, and they are not letting him just rot in that tower.
Enter the family dynamic.
We have Anna, the sister, and Killian and Lachlan, the brothers.
And Anna has done something unforgivable in Declan's eyes,
She's turned their ancestral home into a wedding venue.
which is Declan's personal hell.
Naturally.
He views marriage as, and I quote from the text here, the most foolish thing man has ever created.
Wow.
To him, a wedding is just people celebrating a future tragedy. He looks at a happy couple and thinks, well, one of you is going to get hurt.
One of you's going to die or leave.
Exactly.
So he's hiding upstairs, the string quartets are playing downstairs, and he's basically losing his mind.
And this leads to the intervention.
It's an intervention disguised as a bet. And the family dynamic here is hilarious because they know exactly how to manipulate him.
They know he's incredibly stubborn, so Killian and Anna corner him in the kitchen one night.
They challenge him.
Yeah.
They basically say, oh, you think what Anna does is so easy? You think these weddings are just annoying fluff? Fine. You run one wedding.
And the stakes are high. This is the whole deal with the devil moment.
Right.
If he pulls it off without screaming at anyone, which is a tall order for Declan, and if the wedding is beautiful, then the weddings stop.
He gets the manor to himself.
Gets his silence back.
It's the carrot he's been waiting for. Total isolation.
But if he fails, the weddings continue, and he just has to deal with it forever.
It sounds too good to be true. He really should have known.
He definitely should have. It's a trap.
Yeah.
Because he accepts the bet before he asks the single most important question.
Who is the couple?
Always read the fine print. Anna tells him it's a celebrity wedding booked by a manager, so it's all hush-hush. He has absolutely no idea who is going to step out of that car.
He signs his peace of mind away on a total gamble.
And that brings us right to the inciting incident. We are 6 days out from the wedding. The guests are arriving.
And Declan is in rare form. He's hungover. He's completely disheveled.
The text describes him waking up surrounded by green bottles.
He basically rolls out of bed, splashes some water on his face, and just goes out to the driveway to get this over with.
The atmosphere is super heavy. It's Scotland, so of course it's gray and drizzling. And this sleek black car pulls up on the gravel.
First out of the car is guest number one,
Pierce Michael Hall.
the movie star.
He is the absolute antithesis of Declan. Declan is rough, paint-stained, dark, brooding. Pierce is polished, American, blindingly handsome, and just radiating arrogance.
He's the golden boy.
He is. But then,
The other door opens.
and out steps Colin Shelby.
I felt my stomach drop just reading this scene.
It's such a visceral moment, Colin Shelby. Declan's former best friend.
The roommate he fell in love with at university.
The one who got away 7 years ago.
The physical reaction described in the text is intense. Declan is just stunned. It has been 7 years of absolute silence, no calls, no texts,
Nothing.
and suddenly, the love of his life is standing 10 feet away, holding hands with a movie star.
And we have to talk about the dynamic between Colin and Pierce immediately, because Declan notices it right away.
Yeah.
It's not just that they are a couple, it's how they are a couple.
Pierce is, well, he's a lot.
He is. He's very possessive.
He calls him my Colin. He touches him constantly, almost like he's marking territory.
Yeah, he puts a hand on his neck, pulls him close.
And Colin is this sunshine character. He's an actor too, but he's softer, sweeter. And in this dynamic, he seems very submissive to Pierce's energy.
Which is incredibly triggering for Declan.
Yeah.
Because, and this is a bit of a spoiler we're going to unpack in the flashbacks, Declan and Colin had a similar dynamic in the past.
Right.
They explored dominance and submission, but the flavor of it with Pierce is wrong.
It feels predatory, doesn't it?
It feels exactly like ownership.
Yeah.
Pierce treats Colin like a trophy, something he's acquired to complete his collection.
And Declan sees this and it makes his blood boil. Not just out of jealousy, though there is plenty of that, but out of protectiveness.
He looks at Colin and thinks, you are making yourself small for him.
But because of the bet, Declan can't just storm off. He can't punch Pierce in the face.
Nope.
He is the wedding planner. He has to give them a tour.
It is torture by proximity. Just imagine walking through your family home, discussing flower arrangements and cake flavors with the man you love. Well, that man plans a life with someone else.
And the awkwardness. There's this scene where they're having lunch, and Pierce is just droning on about himself, his movies, his fame.
Typical Hollywood type.
And Declan is just drinking whiskey to get through it, staring at Colin, trying to figure out, are you happy? Do you actually love him?
To understand why this is so painful, though, we really have to go back. The book uses flashbacks to peel back the layers of their history. We need to look at the anatomy of the past.
Because if we don't understand the history, Declan just looks like a bitter ex. We need to understand the depth of that bond. So let's travel back 11 years, university days.
They were roommates, best friends, inseparable. They literally did everything together.
But there was a secret tension.
Colin was gay, closeted at first, and very inexperienced. Declan was the protective older brother figure, even though they were the same age.
And then comes the virginity pact. Or, well, the virginity offer.
It's a classic romance trope, but executed with a lot of emotional weight here. Colin is terrified of graduating university as a virgin.
He feels pathetic.
He feels like he's missing a milestone. He wants experience.
And Declan, jokingly at first, says, "I'll help you out."
I'll make sweet, sweet love to you. That's the actual line.
And Colin freezes because that is exactly what he wants.
But he thinks Declan is straight, or at least Declan presents as straight. So Colin assumes it's a joke.
But the tension builds. And now we really have to talk about why Declan would make that offer. A straight-presenting man offering to sleep with his male best friend.
It screams repression, doesn't it?
It screams safe container. Declan loves Colin. He may not have the words for it yet, but he cannot bear the thought of Colin being with a stranger.
He can't bear the thought of Colin being used or hurt or feeling awkward with someone who doesn't care about him. So he thinks, I'll do it. I can protect him even in this.
It's stewardship. I will steward your first experience.
Precisely. And that leads to the swimming pool scene, the natatorium at night.
Oh, the atmosphere here. The smell of chlorine, the echoing water, the darkness. It's late, they've broken in. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife.
And Declan finally makes the move. He kisses Colin in the water, and that changes everything. It shifts from friendship to friends with benefits.
But that label doesn't really cover it at all. They start sleeping together every summer.
Every summer. For 4 years. They have this arrangement. They live their separate lives. Colin out in LA, acting, Declan in Scotland. But for 1 week every summer, they meet up, and they are everything to each other.
But notice the limitations Declan puts on it. It's only a week. It's only physical, or so he claims.
Right.
Why only a week? If the chemistry was that good and the sources say it was explosive, why not just date?
Because of Declan's trauma armor. A week is a vacation. A week isn't real life. If it's just a week, he doesn't have to admit he's in love.
He doesn't have to risk the loss.
Exactly. He can compartmentalize it. He tells himself, this is just fun.
But for Colin, it wasn't just fun.
No. Colin is the sunshine to Declan's midnight. He wears his heart on his sleeve. Eventually, a week just wasn't enough. He wanted the other 51 weeks.
And within that physical relationship, they explore BDSM, dominance and submission.
This is a key theme in the book, and we need to clarify this for you listening. BDSM here isn't just about spice or kinks. It's the vehicle for character development.
There's a scene in Amsterdam 9 years ago that really highlights this.
Yes. Colin admits he wants Declan to take control. He wants to surrender. He even says he wants Declan to hurt him in a pleasurable, cathartic way.
But Declan refuses.
He refuses to hurt him. He says, it's my job to protect you. Declan's brand of dominance is entirely focused on safety and care. He's terrified of damaging Colin.
Which sounds noble, but it's also his barrier. He uses protection as a way to keep emotional distance. If he's just taking care of a friend, he doesn't have to admit he's in love.
Precisely. And that leads directly to the breakup in Tuscany 8 years ago.
This was heart-wrenching. They are in Italy, having their usual summer week.
But Colin has had enough. He wants more than a week.
He wants a relationship. He wants to be acknowledged publicly.
He gives Declan an ultimatum. I want to be yours, really, not just during sex. And Declan, he just panics.
He pulls the I don't do relationships card. He pushes Colin away. He literally tells him, if you want to leave, you should leave. It's Declan's trauma speaking. He would rather drive Colin away and be alone than risk loving him and losing him to death or tragedy.
So Colin leaves, and that starts the 7-year silence.
7 years of radio silence.
Okay.
Until Colin shows up at Barclay Manor with fiancée.
So back to the present day. We have this triangle now. Declan, Colin, and Pierce.
And we need to dissect the contrast between the two Doms. Because Colin is clearly attracted to dominant men, but Pierce and Declan could not be more different.
Pierce is the villain here, clearly. But specifically, a psychological villain.
He is. Pierce represents ownership. He treats Colin like an accessory. There is a moment where he brags about collaring Colin after only 2 weeks.
For those who might not know the terminology, can you explain the significance of that?
A collar in the BDSM community is a heavy symbol. It's equivalent to a wedding ring, maybe even more intense. It symbolizes ownership, protection, and deep, established trust.
So to collar someone after 2 weeks.
That is a massive red flag.
It's love bombing. It's treating a human being like a new car you just bought. Pierce enjoys the aesthetic of submission. He likes having a pretty obedient thing on his arm. He takes agency away from Colin.
And he's so arrogant about it.
Yeah.
He flaunts their sex life to Declan. He's almost challenging him. He says things like, "You can have him tonight because he's mine tomorrow."
He's marking his territory. He senses the history between Declan and Colin, and instead of being threatened, he gets off on the power trip. He wants to rub Declan's face in it.
But Declan, even though he's the ex, even though he's supposedly over it, he's still the protector.
Always. Declan represents stewardship.
There's the cake tasting incident. It seems like a small moment, but it's actually huge.
It is. They are tasting cakes. Colin wants the lemon cake. It's what he genuinely likes. Pierce completely overrides him. He wants the chocolate or whatever looks best in photos. He dismisses Colin's preference entirely.
And Declan steps in. He challenges Colin. He basically asks, "Are you happy?" Does he listen to you?
Declan uses his dominance to give Colin a voice. Pierce uses his dominance to silence him. That's the fundamental difference.
And then the tension explodes when Colin sprains his ankle.
Yes. It's raining outside. Colin slips on the wet stone. Pierce is dismissive. He tells him to walk it off, or that he's being dramatic. He's annoyed that his perfect doll is damaged.
And Declan?
Declan is instantly there. He wants to carry him. He wants to ice the ankle. He wants to care for the injury. It really highlights that Pierce loves the idea of Colin, the handsome actor on his arm, but Declan loves the person.
And we have to mention Blair here. Blair is Declan's assistant, but she's also basically the audience surrogate.
I love Blair. She is watching this train wreck, and she finally snaps at Declan. She tells him, "You are the love of his life. Stop moping and fight for him."
She cuts right through Declan's self-pity. She forces him to realize that losing the bet doesn't matter. Winning the house doesn't matter. Losing Colin again is the only thing that matters.
Which leads us to the climax.
Yeah.
The bachelor party.
Oh, man. Pierce, in his infinite arrogance, decides to have a joint bachelor party at Barclay Manor. And he essentially challenges Declan. He invites Declan to watch.
It's so twisted. It's voyeurism as a power play. Pierce thinks he has total control. He thinks Declan is weak and broken, and he thinks Colin is so submissive he'll just perform.
But Declan flips the script. He accepts the challenge. But he pulls Colin aside in the middle of the party.
And he gives this speech. This is the turning point of the book. He says, "Tonight, I intend to remind you what it feels like to be mine, but not to control him, to prove he's changed."
And the key line here, the one that differentiates him from Pierce, is when he says, "I'm not afraid of trusting you to do what you want."
Exactly. Pierce relies on control. Declan relies on trust. He puts the agency back in Colin's hands. He says, essentially, "I am giving you power."
And then they go to the parlor, and Pierce is watching.
It starts as a show for Pierce, but very quickly, Declan and Colin enter their own bubble. They completely block him out. The intimacy in that scene isn't just about sex, it's about memory. It's about connection. It's about 11 years of history.
Declan kneels. He worships Colin. He reminds Colin of what it felt like when they were in love. And Pierce is sitting there realizing, wait a minute, I'm losing the audience.
He realizes it's not a show for him anymore. It's a reunion for them. He becomes irrelevant in his own game.
And then comes the ultimatum. The clock strikes midnight. It's officially the wedding day. Declan stops. He pulls away.
This takes incredible strength. He could have kept going, but he stops. He tells Colin, "Come to my room." He leaves the ball entirely in Colin's court. "I'll be waiting."
It's the ultimate test. Declan has put his heart on the line. He's broken his rule about self-preservation. Now Colin has to choose. Does he choose the easy, controlled life with the movie star, or the messy, real love with the artist?
And the suspense leading into the next section is palpable, because the next morning, Colin doesn't show up.
The morning of the wedding, Declan wakes up alone. The sun is up, the birds are singing, and the bed is empty.
He's devastated. He thinks he's lost. He thinks Colin chose safety. He thinks the trauma was right. Love equals loss.
He goes downstairs, completely heartbroken. He's ready to just get through the day, get his house back, and be miserable forever. And then his sister, Anna, finds him.
And she drops the bomb. The wedding is off.
Not because of the rain, not because of a glitch, but because Colin called it off.
But Declan doesn't know where Colin is. He runs outside, panic setting in, and finds Pierce by his car, loading his luggage, looking incredibly bitter.
This confrontation is so satisfying. Pierce is nasty. He says Colin has no loyalty. He tries to act like he's the one discarding Colin. He says something like, he's broken.
And Declan finally roars. The grump is gone and the protector is fully back. He grabs Pierce and delivers this line, "You will never touch Colin Shelby again. He chose me." Because I give him a voice.
I give him a voice.
Yeah.
That is the core theme right there.
It is. It's the antithesis of Pierce's ownership. Pierce wanted a silent doll. Declan wanted a partner with a voice.
So Pierce drives off in a huff. Good riddance. Declan runs back inside, up to his studio, and who is waiting there?
Colin. Sitting on the bed.
And this is my favorite part. This is the visual thesis of the book. Declan, the dominant, the big scary guy, he drops to his knees.
It's a complete reversal of roles. It symbolizes total vulnerability. In their dynamic, Declan is the one who stands, who leads. For him to kneel, it's not submission in a sexual sense. It's an admission that his armor is gone.
He's physically lowering his defenses.
He's saying, you can hurt me. I am giving you the power to destroy me, and I'm trusting you not to. That is the only way he could win Colin back. He had to prove he was done hiding.
He apologizes. He admits his fear. He admits that he ruined them before. And he promises therapy.
Which, honestly, huge green flag. We love a man who goes to therapy.
We really do. He promises commitment. He says, I'll be whatever and wherever you need.
And Colin admits that he didn't want a master. He wanted a husband. He wanted a life. He says, I want every day, not just a week.
And Declan promises, every day of my life until I die. It's the happy ever after we were waiting for.
It's the healing we were waiting for.
So section 7, the happy ever after. They shower off the mess of the past, literal and figurative. They go downstairs and eat the wedding cake together. Just the two of them.
It's a reclaiming of the symbol. The wedding cake was a source of stress and conflict earlier. Now it's just dessert. It's just cake.
And the epilogues. We get 2, which is a real treat.
First, 1 year later, the Oscars.
Colin wins an award, and they walk the red carpet together. And Declan is wearing a kilt.
Fulfilling a fantasy and a promise from earlier in the book, it's a public claiming. They are living in Santa Monica. Pierce is out of the picture-friendly but distant. They are out and proud.
And then 8 years later, this one really got me.
Back at Barclay Manor, they have an adopted son, Will.
5 years old, blonde curls just like Colin.
And this is significant because Declan thought his life was a dead end. He thought his legacy ended with him because he was too afraid to love. But now, he reflects on his journey. He thought hope died with his parents in that car crash decades ago, but Colin brought it back.
He's now a protector of his husband and his son.
It ends with domestic bliss. Coffee, a kid, a cat named Romeo. It's perfect. It's a complete arc. From a man who hid in a tower with noise-canceling headphones to a man sitting on a couch surrounded by noise and love.
So let's wrap this up with some takeaways. What are we really learning from Promise Me?
I think the biggest theme is vulnerability as strength. We often think of strength as being tough, unshakable, armored up. Declan thought his armor, his grumpiness, his isolation, his dominance was what kept him safe. But he was wrong. It was keeping him trapped. He had to lose that armor. He had to kneel to get the life he wanted.
It's that paradox. You have to risk getting hurt to actually live.
Exactly. And the second theme is trust versus control. Pierce represented control ownership, lack of agency. He wanted to possess Colin. Declan eventually learned to represent trust. He trusted Colin to make the choice. He trusted Colin with his heart. Control is easy. Trust is terrifying. But trust is where the real connection is.
And I love the irony that the wedding hater found his own marriage by ruining another one.
Sometimes you have to burn it down to build it right. Sometimes the wedding needs to be ruined so the marriage can happen.
And we have to give a final shout out to Blair. If she hadn't yelled at Declan, none of this would have happened.
Every romance needs that truth teller friend. We should all be so lucky to have a Blair.
Absolutely. So, for you listening, here is your provocative thought for the day. We often think of protecting our hearts as a way to stay safe. We build walls, we wear headphones, we stay in the tower. But is your safety actually just a cage? And who might be waiting on the other side of that door if you just unlocked it?
Something to really mull over.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Promise Me. Find your own safe words, find your voice, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.